Good morning, 9 and welcome back to another class of business studies. So, for today, you have some pieces of papers with you there. You have some pieces of papers with letters on it. So, you're going to unscramble those letters and tell me what our topic for today is. So, you have 1 minute, look at the letters, unscramble them, and tell me what our topic for today is. So, did anyone get it? That's correct. Our topic for today is stakeholder. Now, have you ever heard the term before? Who do you think a stakeholder is? Someone that is interested in the business, that's right. Someone who would like to invest in the business. Okay, so I'm going to show you a video of who a stakeholder is. Now, I would like you to take out your notebooks and you're going to take notes on points in the video. After you finish watching the video, we're going to discuss who are stakeholders and we're going to look at the two types of stakeholders that they have. So please pay keen attention to the video and remember to take notes. Okay, so now that you're finished watching the video, who would like to share with us what they learned from the video? What stand out to you in the video? Yes, Sean. Oh, there are two types. That's correct. There are two types of stakeholders. You got that from the video. What else? The two types of stakeholders are internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. Okay, you have our internal stakeholders are persons like the manager and the owner of the business. Correct. And our external stakeholders are our suppliers, and then we have the local community. Okay, so first, let's look at who is a stakeholder. So you're going to write for me. A stakeholder is a person. A stakeholder is a person that has an interest in the business. A stakeholder is a person that has an interest in the business. Full stop. A stakeholder can either be external. A stakeholder can either be external or internal. Full stop. Now you're going to copy the diagram on the board for me. So you have 3 minutes to copy this diagram in your exercise books. Okay, so are we finished copying? So since we're finished copying, let's look at our internal stakeholders. Why do you think they would have an interest in business? Let's look at the owners first. Why do you think the owner would be interested in business? Yes, the owner would be interested in the business because the business brings the owner money. The business is actually the owner's business. So how well the business is doing or how bad the business is doing, the owner needs to know. So let's look at the employees. Why do you think the employee would have an interest in the business? That's correct. The employee is interested in the business because that business pays the employee. That's where the employee gets his or her money from to buy whatever, they have to purchase. And then let's look at the managers. Why would a manager be invested into a business? Why would a manager want to know what is happening in a business? That's correct. The manager manages the business. So that is now the manager's problem as to what is going on, how well the business is doing. Is the business making a profit? Is the business making a loss? Do they have to purchase more goods? Everything about the business, the manager needs to know. So that is the reason why the manager has an interest in the business, right? Because that person is responsible for the operations of the business. In addition to that, the manager too would have to report to the owner on how well the business is doing. So that's it for our internal stakeholders. Let's look at our external stakeholders now. Customers. We're all customers, right? You purchase from various businesses in your community. Why are you interested in that business? Correct, you're interested in that business because that business provides the goods to you. When you want to purchase your little soda or you want to purchase your cheese stick or whatever, you go to the business. If the business doesn't have it, then you don't have it. But when the business has it, you can easily purchase it there. Let's look at our suppliers. Why would suppliers be interested in a business? That's correct. They supply goods to the business. So once the business is there, the supplier has a job to provide whatever is required to the business. So the business is like a job. Providing to the business is a job for the supplier. And the local community. Why do you think the local community would be invested into a business? Yes, it depends on the type of business. The local community, the business now will sponsor stuff for the community. The business will do stuff for the community depending on the type of business. It can be harmful in a way. So if it's a business that disposes of their garbage in a not so good manner, the community should be interested in that so that the business now can put this to right and not spoil things in the community or give the community a bad name because of the way in which the business operates. So, looking at our stakeholders, we know that a stakeholder is a person who have an interest in the business. And we know that stakeholders, it's separated into two types. We have our internal stakeholders and we have our external stakeholders. We have our internal stakeholders, our owners, the employees, and the manager of the business, and then you have the external stakeholders, customers, suppliers, and local community. Now, now that we're finished with this content, we're gonna wrap up our lesson with a game. How will this game be played? Now, Kanisha has a book in her hands there. Now, Kanisha will pass this book around. While the book goes around, a song will be played. Now, you move the book around, each person takes turn, you take the book, each one of you, you're going to pass the book around, ensure that it gets to everybody. When that song is being played, when the song is stopped, who has the book, you're going to stand and you're going to answer a question. Are we clear? Okay. Okay, move the book around. Okay, Sean, stand and you're going to tell us the two types of stakeholders they have. What are the two types of stakeholders? Internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. That's correct. Give him a hand. Good job. Continue passing the book around. Natalia, who is a stakeholder? Your question is, who is a stakeholder? Okay, that's correct. A stakeholder is someone who has an interest in the business. Good job. Give her a hand. Okay, continue passing the book around. Okay, Michael, your question, you're going to tell me, why would the owner have an interest in the business? Or why is the owner of the business considered a stakeholder of that business? Okay, I can take that. Good job. The owner is considered a stakeholder because the owner is interested in the day-to-day operations of the business. The owner is interested in if the business makes a profit or a loss. So, good job. So, I think today we've all learned about our stakeholders and the types of stakeholders. So, for homework, please write your homework. For homework, you're going to identify one other internal stakeholder. You're going to identify one internal stakeholder and you're going to state why that person has an interest in the business. And you're going to identify two external stakeholders ones we have here. You can identify two external stakeholders and state why that person has an interest in the business. Okay, are we clear? Any questions? Okay, then you're dismissed for your lunch.